Can you hear me okay over there, Gene?
Yes,
Right on. Appreciate you being here, by the way.
thank you. Why is every time I go to look for the loss and transition group, I can't find it?
I don't know, but I can
Can
teach you
you hear
maybe
me
a
okay
little trick.
over there, Gene?
A little trick. Um, I don't know if you know or not, but what you can do is you can go to the groups, and then on the left-hand side, when you see it, click the three little dots, and you can actually pin. You can actually pin groups so that you can find them easier.
I got to search for a job with the periods, but I think I thought I did that already, but I'll try that again. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Happy to help, brother. And hello, good morning, or good afternoon, shall we say? Depending on where you're coming, tuning in from. This is our Monday Mastermind. My name is Robert Blakely. Hello and welcome, TGIM. It's my favorite day of the week. And I'm going to start out by saying this morning's already been a little wild. And we might talk a little bit about that. We are missing a few guests today. First off, for those of you that are not here and you're watching on the replay, my I just want to send out ultimate love and light to you for what you're going through. I know what it's like to lose somebody that's near and dear in your life. So sorry that you can't be here, but you're here in heart and spirit. So that being said, there's a lot of times when you wake up in the morning that life will throw a bunch of different challenges on you, and this is just kind of a testament to the way that I live and love and learn. We could wake up one morning or we could not. So number one, I'm always grateful for another day of life. I'm grateful that it's Monday because as entrepreneurs, it gives us the chance to kind of start our work week. Those of you that are watching out there in YouTube land, if you don't know, right? This whole premise here is talking about going from that job to freedom, which is ultimately working for yourself, whether that be in network marketing, affiliate marketing. We do a lot of training here, especially Mondays. What we do is this Monday Mastermind every 12 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to join us live, you're more than willing to come join us live. It's way more fun live. You can join us by going to thelosttransition.com/live. But we do this every Monday. Today, we're going to be talking about some fun stuff that is out there. You can't hide from it. Yes, this is week 18, and we're going to be talking about leveraging AI in online marketing. Part of the reason for this is that I know that there's still people out there in YouTube land and others that might be watching that might be part of the resistance, being since it was just May 4th yesterday, part of the resistance. And by that, I mean resisting artificial intelligence. And realistically, it's here to stay, it's not going anywhere. They've attributed it to being as big as the birth of the internet. And we all know, right, that's not going anywhere either, right? So, with that being said, we're going to talk about that today. I've got some topics I want to discuss, some questions that I'm going to throw out there to the panel. And before we do, though, even though we've got a light crowd, hopefully we've got a few wins that you'd like to share. We always like to pull wins from the audience, see what everybody's doing out there, hear about their wins, live vicariously through them. Then I have a little speaking part, open it up. We mastermind it out, get ready for our next week, right? So that's how it works. Not sure if any of you guys have any wins. Anybody have some wins that you want to share? Gene, go ahead, brother. Start us off.
Well, non-win is my pedal's not working. I This is a possible win in the coming, a future win possibly. Um, I do my business partner Lisa. We do the Power Her Hour with two other ladies, Renee and Veronica. Well, Renee and Veronica and Lisa have been together for 30 years, off and on, doing different things. They just have this, right? And uh, they just connect real well on camera with each other too, and everything. And one of Lisa's uh, other guys that she knows is big in business and owns several companies, and he's doing live sales, streaming live sales, stuff like that. He's got a program with like 19 patents or something. he wants to hire them, which may include me for doing live sales.
Nice.
So, which I'd be their admin and social media guy and everything like that. So Lisa's actually has a meeting scheduled today with him to try to negotiate something. Uh, he's got one of the products he wants in the market is it's a lipstick on paper. It's not an oily lipstick, but it's the type where you take the paper and go like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and it stays on your lips. And it comes off the paper.
Interesting.
That's one of the products he's looking forward to possibly them advertising.
I want to see you advertise that live.
I don't know, but I probably would jump on and do something with them too. Yeah, but I mean, look, I used to wear high heel boots in wrestling back in the 80s. I'll show those pictures later. But so it's an opportunity for us to possibly be able to branch off, and
Cool.
even we're talking about branching off the Power Hour back to 5 days, but not just focusing on menopause and hormone health, but uh, Lisa doing empowering women and having another friend of theirs, Kate, come on board to do something. And, all the ladies doing something 5 days a week. One lady do something 4 days a week, and they all do the collective on Mondays and stuff like that to help empower women. So we're going to be taking that brand further out into the internet and into the crowd, stuff like that. We already streamed the Power Hour on YouTube and several Facebooks, and I copy and paste on other people's Facebooks or our different Facebook pages, profiles and stuff like that. So we're just trying to get the word out there more, and hopefully this will all branch out into more stuff. And I'll be working the admin background, the admin for them.
I
So
believe it will, brother. I mean, that's the first part of making something happen is actually seeing the vision. And if they're coming to you guys with it, then as long as the deal is made to where it's a win-win situation, he can't say no, right? So
yeah.
I just hope that you are in direct alignment with them as far as whoever's negotiating what you'll be paid for your portion of what you will be doing.
Oh yeah, Lisa's taking care of me for a year, making sure that I got when we're doing the Vasoflex stuff,
Cool.
another product that Lisa was involved with, and she would make sure I was getting paid for the admin stuff I was doing there. So I'm her uh I'm her right arm. I know all her secrets. I know all her passwords.
Right on.
I do all her stuff for her. So yeah, she definitely takes care of me. And it might be that, and I already told her this. She said that they weren't going to do it unless they hire all four of us together.
Nice.
And she's
That's
at a
nice.
meeting yesterday. Well, I wrote back to her, said, well, maybe not. Said, don't stop paydays for the three of you all. If
Right.
they don't
Sure.
want to hire me, negotiate your pay that you all can hire me. And she's like,
Sure.
oh yeah, okay.
And based off of your comment on the Facebook beta group there, I think you might have a little extra niche there that you haven't tapped into, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking about yesterday. Like I said, I might need a referral letter from you.
I will most certainly write something up for sure.
Yeah, that's why I kept.
Testimonial, video testimonial, whatever you need.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's something else to consider as well, right? One of the things that, for anybody that's out there watching, and again, going back to this whole premise of JOB to time freedom, a lot of people jump into network marketing or affiliate marketing the wrong way. We talk about that a lot. We're jumping in backwards instead of doing something that you're passionate about and then turning that passion into profit, right? There's been plenty of books that are out there written about it. If you can find something that you're passionate about and turn that into a profit, then it's not work. And then especially if you're dictating the times that you're doing that job, then by all means, those of you that hang out with me, you know that I have one of my students that lives all the way over in Africa, and he was able to get up to I want to say it was around $225 per month with some help of the people that are around us in our circle and stuff. But he did that all within 2 months, right? And for him not having any audience, I think that that's pretty awesome. But anyway, I look forward to seeing how it turns out. Gene, definitely keep us abreast. Obviously, you and I are going to be working closer together and stuff. I look forward to that as well, brother. So
All right. Thank
appreciate you
you.
sharing.
Mhm.
Cool beans. Vicky, you got any wins you care to share?
I've been so busy I can't even hardly think straight.
I hope that's a good
Um,
day.
the, yes, I got I've been working a lot. in all the different areas, but I got waylaid a little bit because of I had servers go down, which
Oh,
affected my sites, which had to take all my attention to get them back up.
uh,
So, but in the meantime, I have gotten so many leads. It's so and so I'm trying to follow up with all of them. But yesterday I had 33 leads, and I sent out 12 follow up mails, and 5 people of those 12 follow up mails answered me back right away. So
yeah,
that's a huge difference. So I'm like
yes,
actually starting to build the relationship with them. So I'm like, I'm feeling excited, but at the same time, it was just so busy. And then I just went and looked today. I got 6 more leads just today.
oh,
So now I've
nice.
got more to follow up with.
Look
So
at
I'm
you.
I'm getting there slowly but surely. But it wasn't a lost week last week because of I learned a lot about the server too that I didn't know.
Sure,
And so it wasn't anything that I had done. It was a server issue,
sure.
but it was very helpful in the fact that I learned things that I could be doing on my end as an owner in my own C panel to keep things more clean and things like that that I had no idea about before because there's really like no kind of training manual for people that have those scripts. And
Right.
so it was all just like a really good positive push forward week and I feel like I'm on the right track, so I just gotta stick with it.
Well, you're definitely on the right track because every
Mhm.
week you're just getting better and better things are happening, right? I
Becoming
do want to,
easier. The
yeah,
engagement on Facebook has been unbelievable.
good.
I tweaked things a little bit there. I've got like a little bit more of a schedule that I'm doing on post, and I'm trying different kinds of post out to see how they pull. And so it's pretty interesting. It's been a really the
Good.
last couple of weeks have really been a growing and like just putting it in my brain what is actually working and what isn't working and then where to go from there. So
I
I'm
love it.
excited.
I love it. And I want to mention too, right? You said something about your service going down. For those that may be watching the replay and don't know, Vicky's gone through a bunch of stuff and losing all of her data and all kinds of crazy stuff. And in alignment with what I was talking about this morning, right? We could wake up or we could not wake up. And I'm grateful that I woke up. And life really is, it's not so much how you act about things, but how you react to things, or vice versa, right? We can have these things that if a server goes down, automatic, craziness pops in, company goes out of business. Oh my God, it's panic mode, right? Another
Mm-mm.
company maybe stops their payment plan or something, or affiliate program, and immediately everybody, their first reaction is to panic, right? So
Couldn't agree
let's,
more with that, Robert. I mean, it's
yeah,
like this time last year, it was when some of these things happened. I wouldn't have handled it quite as well, but I can see my own growth and how I'm reacting and handling situations so much better now.
beautiful.
And so I'm just thrilled to no end.
Beautiful. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that, my friend. Thank you for sharing. So Rita, I guess she may have communication issues. I know she's out there in Maryland. I knew we were going to have a light crew today. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit and dive into what I wanted to chat with everybody about today. And it's week 18, like I mentioned, leveraging AI. Part of, I guess, my wins is coming off of why I wanted to have this conversation with everybody today and start the week off is I've mentioned before, because of the company that I'm associated with, Now Site, and they've got an artificial intelligence. It's obviously all coming from ChatGPT, but because I was connected to that and am connected to that company, and I use their tool suite on the daily, I felt like if I went over to ChatGPT, honestly, I just felt like I was a cheating husband. And I've mentioned this in some of our inner circles. I just didn't go. I would hear and see everybody talking about ChatGPT and how great it was, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, well, we have that same thing, only ours is designed to be more in direct alignment with who we are, because we can program it and all these other fun things that you can do with artificial intelligence. And as far as my artificial intelligence journey is concerned, to tell you a quick story, this started over 2 years ago when the first advent of ChatGPT was born. I was actually at an event with NowSci over in Vegas when we launched what was called My AI. And then so over the last 2 years, I've had the enjoyment of seeing the progression of the artificial intelligence and the platform and how it's become better. And they just keep getting better and better and better, right? So making it more user friendly, all these other types of things. So that's how my artificial intelligence journey started. And then, as I mentioned, I felt like, I'm a very faithful guy. I didn't want to go cheat on my artificial intelligence spouse. But I'll tell you what, I feel like Ray Williams Jr. right now until I saw the advent or the addition, if you will, of more of what was going on with what could be considered vision AI added to ChatGPT. We had something that we call vision, but I don't think that it's the same thing. It's not. It's not so much image generation, but when we were watching the image generation stuff come about, it was very clunky. Like you would go try to do an image of a person, they'd have like 5 or 6 fingers and 3 eyeballs. It looked like some kind of crazy radiation experiment. And even too, I remember you try to get artificial intelligence to spell a 4 letter word and it just couldn't do it, right? So you know, fast forward to now, we've seen these changes in artificial intelligence, which is why I wanted to bring up this conversation to have it and give some people that are out there watching more ideas and things to think about. But back to the story there, I saw a bunch of people that were posting when they had the ability to create images out of ChatGPT. And mind you, I had tried Microsoft and I liked the image generator on there. It wasn't too bad. That's what I was using before ChatGPT came out with theirs. But again, it just wouldn't get the words right. The things that I really that had in my brain that I wanted to get on canvas, they weren't really what I was looking for. Since this now, I decided to go take a look. I did 1 or 2 images, and I needed, of course, to update it, and I needed more information. Ran into my limitation with ChatGPT, of course, which is exactly how it's designed. And yes, I had to upgrade. So it was $20 a month. That's nothing, 20 bucks. We lose more than that easily. So I started diving into it, and my God, the things that this thing can do when it comes to images. And I've said this before too on day one of our boot camp. I said there's 3 ways that we're going to make it in this internet world. Number one, we had to learn how to do it ourselves, outsource it, or a combination of those two, right? So I've always learned how to do all this stuff. I started up way back in the day, so I remember back when uh, uh, a website was nothing more than just text on a page, right? Then came the advent of audio to date myself, and yes, it was audio before it was video. Then when video came out, the internet just exploded, right? That being said, all these things that we as network marketers that I preach all the time that used to take us weeks or months to do now can literally be done within the matter of minutes, hours, and days, right? So if you're a business owner and you're not looking at artificial intelligence, I would implore you to take a deeper look, you know, and you don't have to dive in both feet. Just test the waters, if you will. See what you like that's going to work for you. Because I can go and say, well, I went into ChatGPT and there's Dolly and all these other things, but when I went in there to play with those, it just didn't fascinate me the way that I wanted to be fascinated, if you will. And for me, I'm just looking for like quick way to be able to come up with scripts or PDFs or graphics. Those are the quick things that network marketers like us need. Right? Be able to build some kind of lead magnet, put it into our website, go collect leads and start talking to people. But artificial intelligence, as I mentioned, it's gotten really, really good, right? That being said, even in now side, right, when we had our artificial intelligence avatars come out, oh my God, like that was the greatest in the world. Now it's almost passe. Like you can go get an AI avatar, you can kind of build one if you want to. Yes, it all is going to require money. You're going to see artificial intelligence here, there, and this does that, and this does that, right? Most of them are going to work off of what we're known as a credit base. So you might have to pay monthly, you get those credits. In fact, the artificial intelligence and why I wanted to have this conversation was just to mention a couple of things that I do currently use. Nowside is one of them. ChatGPT is another one. And even when you go and you look at, as I was thinking about this conversation, what I was going to talk to you guys about, you can even look at software programs as artificial intelligence. And realistically, why I'm saying this to you, especially those business owners that are afraid of artificial intelligence, is it's already been there. It's already been out in front of us before. If you've ever grabbed a software program that did something for you, that's artificial intelligence. I hate to be the bearer of true news, but that's where a lot of that stuff started. Even the programming and all that stuff, it's all artificial intelligence when you look at it. So now, you have to think of artificial intelligence as a smart robot that can learn and make decisions just like a human. And I'm kind of bleeding in my wins with the story that I want to talk to you today about. But my win ultimately is just figuring out ChatGPT a lot better and conquering it to where I know now the mentality that it has. I know now some of the mistakes that it makes to where I can get it to do certain things that I want. Obviously, prompting is key, knowing what you want, which is something else that we talk about in coaching as well, right? If you don't know what you want, you're never going to get it, right? So that being said, I find it a win. I've created a bunch of great graphics. I'm using those now to make sure that I pivot for the coaching classes that I do. We're going to be laser focused on that. Laser focused on that. But I'm that's my win. It's conquering GPT is how I feel. That being said, like I was telling you guys, it needs to be looked at as something like the way I see it is like assistance, if you will, right? Help you do the things that you couldn't do. Well, maybe you could do them yourself, right? If you know how, graphics included. But a lot of people that come into this industry don't know the first thing about any of that, right? They don't know about the psychology of the colors and the fonts and all that stuff that we talk about in that 5-day boot camp that we have available for everybody, right? They don't know all those little things, but the artificial intelligence knows many of those things, right? My artificial intelligence avatar has been specifically programmed to know more of the sales psychology side of things, to where it might give a more detailed breakdown on something than you just going to Google and asking it a question, as an example, right? But artificial intelligence, it's been around. That's what I wanted to say about that. Number two, we can look at this as machine learning, right? Because that's what it is, machine learning, which is it's just a part of AI. So machine learning itself is just a part of AI, where whatever that smart robot is that we were just talking about learns from whatever new information is. And that's without us having to teach it anything, right? So that's one part of where it does machine learning. And then you have, as I had mentioned a little bit ago, personalization, to where you can take that artificial intelligence, make things special or personalized for each person or each individual or even each business or company. As an example, when if Netflix like suggests shows that you might like, well, guess what? That's artificial intelligence that understood your taste and your behavior. Especially when you went and you watched that movie and you liked it, thumbed it up. Guess what? That's all data. right? Which leads to the number fourth thing to talk about is data analytics. Something else that we preach around here. Numbers don't lie. Like numbers don't lie. There's no way that numbers don't that they lie. So if you have the right data and you understand how to read that data is going to tell you some things. It's going to give you direction. It's going to tell you what not to do, what to do. There's a lot of things that can be pulled from that data. But if you're never compiling that data, you're never going to know. As an example, when I talk to, my friends and my students and stuff, and I talk about my experience in direct marketing, starting off closing at 50% of the people that I talk to, I would not have known that I was closing 50% of the people had I not taken track of each and every door that I hit. If I had the records, my friends, of all what we call street sheets that I filled out, it would be pretty massive, showing you all the doors that I hit. And each time, right, there was space in there to where we were able to write the address, and then there were 3 checkbox next to each one of them. So that each time we went back, put another check mark, put another check mark, because we had to go back 3 times on every house. So if we were in a neighborhood of 100 houses, we'd hit a door 300 times, if not more. Right. But my point is you have to gather that data, right? If you're not gathering the data, then you're never going to know. You're never going to see the growth like you heard Vicky talk about. She can see those things now that she's more tuned into it. She's got more awareness. Keyword awareness. Right? We talk about that a lot. Must first be aware of what it is, right? But if you never take the time to dive into artificial intelligence, you don't look at it, then you're never going to know. Which was my little mistake because of my silly mindset of not wanting to cheat on my artificial intelligence. Right. But to talk about this, just some talking points, right? Going back to what I was saying, actually, because I interrupted myself. So we use NowSite. What else do we use? We use NowSite. We use ChatGPT. Social Prospector Pro is another one that I use. And then there's even graphic creators that you can use out there that have artificial intelligence, have artificial intelligence for creating video called Create Studio Plus. I pay for that yearly so that I've got the credits so I can go just whip up whatever I want to. I guess part of the point of why I wanted to say this too and have this conversation is I want to show people or tell people that really I want you guys to just try to spark or tap into more of your creative mind, right? Like you see Gene here with his picture in the background, beautifully done. Like that's the creative genius that I believe that all of us as network marketers or affiliate marketers need to really start tapping into among the conversation, obviously, right? I remember this is kind of drifting off for a second here, but this is what's coming to my mind to tell you guys. I remember when I was in California going to the studio audience of Family Feud, and the host was there. And after the show was done, the one big thing that he said to us that I'll never forget was he said, "Never lose your childlike imagination." He said, "Never lose that imagination." Right. But I believe that many of us do, right? We lose so many things from the time that we're a child to adulthood. And which is why, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, that many of us don't achieve those dreams that we want to achieve because we lose that childlike imagination. And I've said this before, and this has happened in my own personal life, right? As a child, I was told, hey, you can grow up to be anything that you want, especially in the United States, right? It's the American dream, yada, yada, yada. Then once you start getting towards high school, they tell you, hey, why don't you get your head out of the clouds, right? Why don't you go get a real job? And that happens. And it happens too often versus people having the ability to do what it is that they want in life and take a passion and turn it into profit. As I was mentioned earlier um, with our friend over there in Africa, right? His options were do something that I want to do and get paid for it, or go work slave labor in factories. And, just the alternative just isn't a great thing. Let's put it that way. At least here in the United States and other countries, we do have better options or even better jobs. But at some point in time, you're not going to like the job that you're in. Some point in time, you need to learn some kind of different skill set so that no matter what happens in life, you can adjust to those changes. For me, it's always been sales. Why? Because sales is what makes the world go round, like it does. Without an economy, without people moving, without cash flowing, what would there be? What would there be? But if you're not the one that's doing the selling, right, then what are you doing? You're buying. Well, all you're doing is you're putting in, but you're not getting anything out. That's kind of the way that I look at it. But at the same time, when we talk about sales, especially in my circle, right, I'm not anymore, shall I say, unless I was doing door to door, I'm not out to try to close somebody. And that's not what we do in network marketing or affiliate space. Because if you're doing that, I want to make it very clear, you're doing a direct marketing tactic in a network marketing environment. Man, that's pretty powerful right there. I should write that down. All right. But let's talk a little bit about a couple of examples in AI in a lot of daily people in people's daily lives, right? I know my son, as an example, he has what is it? What is that? Oh, Alexa, right? So you have a lot of people that have Siri or Alexa. When I look at that, that's artificial intelligence. Now, for me, when it first came out, and it's been out for many, many years, and we've seen that grow as well. I want nothing to do with that, only because of my stance of me being a prior military veteran, and I believe in my privacy. And no, I'm not saying anything bad or plotting to take over the world. Well, maybe plotting to take over the world, maybe. But I'm not saying anything that I should worry about, but I still respect that element of privacy, right? So I've never had that. I don't have it turned on my phone. I don't have it in my house because that's just something that I don't want to have, right? Um, so yeah, but it's there, and so many people, like I said, my son has it, and it's interesting when I have a conversation with him because he's similar to me, where he just likes being at home. He doesn't want to go anywhere. Right? He's like people, oh, but he's not a people person like I am, to where he would want to get into sales and talk to people. He's good at what he does, but he would rather not leave the house. And he's told me specifically, yeah, if I could just wire up the house and do this and that, like, next thing you know, he's ready to drop Neuralink into his mind. Now, I'm not talking about anything crazy like that. That's not what we're talking about when it comes to artificial intelligence. That's beyond artificial intelligence, right? But here's the magic. When you get behind artificial intelligence, you can have more personalized recommendations. The graphics turn out better. You can literally just take whatever that creative thought process is and be able to place it on canvas. And once you're able to see that, just like anything else, even in the sales world, you'll get more of an air of confidence of it, which by you going through and learning it, now there comes yet another skill set. So now you add more value to yourself that you can bring to whoever needs it, right? And ultimately, that's how we get paid in the arena of network marketing, is we're in direct proportion of how much value we put out there into the public, right? So if we put enough value out there, and it resonates with enough people and it changes lives because we're solving problems, then we're going to get paid for that time and that energy. That's the magic of all this, right? But many of us, again, we do it the wrong way. We come into network marketing for the wrong reasons. We have the wrong mindset. We don't have the knowledge. We don't have a coach like me to help guide them. Right? But it's really important that we understand, even the data collection process of artificial intelligence, how we can use that to our advantage as well. You can look at an email sequence inside your email mailer as artificial intelligence data gathering if you really want to, right? Think about it. Depending on how many stages you have within that, how you segment your actual emails, right? How you segment your list. So my point of all the conversation today is, again, it's artificial intelligence. This is week 18, and I'm talking about leveraging artificial intelligence in online marketing. Don't be afraid of it. Like, go in there, see what it does. Gene, I love Gene because he understands. You tell him just go in there and click the buttons, see what everything does. Right. Once you start learning it though, and you catch on, like I could say, I haven't been using Chat GPT for more than a month, maybe just a couple of weeks, if that. But maybe it's been about 1 month, I think. I think it's been about a month. But I'm like literally, I have, and another reason why I wanted to have this conversation too is if you're out there and you don't feel like you're getting stuff done, oh my God, we need to talk, and let me show you how to be more creative and get more shit done using artificial intelligence. I've literally got like 5, 6, 7 different projects going on at the same time. Thank God, yes, I'm ADHD, ADD, whatever. So yeah, my mind works fast like that. But if you're like that too, and you tend to get distracted and you don't complete one thing, you move on to the next. Well, we've got to remember to go back to complete those projects. So for me, ChatGPT is almost perfect because I can go and say, okay, well, this is what I want to create. And if it tells me it's going to be 15 minutes, I'll be like, all right, I'll be back. So I'm on to the next task. What else can I accomplish if I'm within that time frame of getting something done on my business? What else can I accomplish, right? So right now I'm using artificial intelligence, using Chat GPT, revamping my entire website for my coaching program, getting some new graphics together for inside the Facebook group, all this other really cool, fun stuff. And I'm having a blast. I'm having fun. That's the key thing. If you're out there and you're in the network or internet marketing world, network marketing world, and you're not having fun at this, you're doing it wrong. Add some artificial intelligence to it. Add some creative graphics. Add your childhood, not childish, but childhood memories, your childlike behavior and thoughts and stuff. Add some comedy to it. Add some funniness. You hear me talk about changing a person's state. We can't be serious all the time. People want to laugh. Think about what we just went through. Everybody says it that way. What we just went through was COVID. Everybody was isolated in a box. And guess what? That was all just done. It was a test to see how you acted, my friends. So same thing. I feel like everything's in alignment with what we're talking about today. And I trust you guys are getting some value out of this conversation. It's when things happen, it's what we're going to do to kind of combat whatever that thing that's happening so that it doesn't affect us into a negative state. This morning I had a few people tell me that they weren't going to be here because of losses in the family. We had some what could be considered distressing business news. And I'm like, okay, well, I could take all that and be like, oh crap. Or I could be really mad because of that business news and it would just ruin my day. Right. But I can't do that. I don't let that happen. But here's why. Here's why none of that shit bothers me or that I don't let it bother me. Because I already know I have a skill set. I already know I have a value. Company A could quit and we could be on to company B if I needed to be on to company B. That would just be it. But if you don't know that skill set or you don't know how to create income for yourself, that's where there's a big problem, right? Talking about lost transition, JOB to freedom. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm, saying anything bad about it. I had a 9 to 5 job before too, right? If you got to work for somebody, you got to work for somebody. You got to do something to make those ends meet. But take whatever it is that you're doing now, a small percentage or portion of what you're making at that 9 to 5 job, and invest it into yourself. Invest it into something that's going to help you make an additional income. For Christ's sakes, I've been saying for over 30 years, door to door, especially saying that everything is going up except for your paychecks. The only way that you're going to regulate your own paycheck is to know and understand your value and your worth and to be able to go out there and exude that and get what your value and worth is worth. Make sense? So let's open it up because we got 13 minutes. I know it's a small crowd, but I know Gene and I and Vicky could talk about this, I'm sure. What are you finding that's kind of like amazing you when it comes to artificial intelligence or web development or apps or graphics and the stuff that you're doing?
Nothing, sir.
Sure.
I absolutely love AI in many different ways. Now, but saying that, I've tried several different ones that are free,
Yeah.
just to see how I like them,
Sure.
and then I've tried I'm utilizing the Now site, and so far, there's it would the biggest help with some of these other things is like you said with the PDFs and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't see a way on Now site at this time yet,
Right.
unless you go through the avatar. I mean, you can get a lot of good information out of going through the avatar, but you have to have the avatar set up.
Sure.
And then, but the PDFs are really good on Chat GPT, and on Microsoft Designer, they've got a way to do very good images on the free portion.
Right.
And that's interesting too. But what I found is that if I take the information that I've gotten from Chat GPT and Designer and stuff, and then go make things through Now site, it kind of all melds together and it makes life simpler. So love it. Love it, love it, love it. But what people are doing and making a mistake on is that they think, oh well, AI is going to do everything for me. Yeah,
Right.
AI is a tool. It's a tool and a valuable resource that we can utilize, but nothing's going to replace you, your human, real life engagement. And they can't make the mistake because a robot is not going to be able to convert sales. It's got to be you engaging and building the know, like, and trust. And people can tell if it's a robot versus a person. And they're not going to build know, like, and trust unless it's a real live person. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's something that's the basic foundation of what we learn, right? Is that know, like, and trust. So appreciate that. And I think too, like I just again, I look at where we were and where we are now. And Vicky, you've had plenty of experience online. Like the difference is just it's night and day. The things that we can get done now as business owners is just crazy how quickly we can get it done, right?
Well, I was shown one for my Okay, I have the one that's for my particular scripts, but the owners of that particular script took it a beat further and have come up with another one. I'll leave the names out, but it's that one they've developed to, like, say I need a web designer. I want to hire employees. I need a web designer. I need a PHP programmer. I need an assistant. I need a researcher. I need a secretary. They've mastered those parts of the business, like you're needing to hire employees, where you can have these AI avatars or whatever that can do that job for you, gather the information for you, and you can utilize it. But it's around the same cost as now site. So because I'm still struggling, I couldn't even try that now if I wanted to, but it's really cool. It's really,
Right.
really cool.
Gotcha. Cool.
And I'm just kind of waiting to see what else NASA comes up with, because they come up with so much just in the last year that it's hard to wrap my head around all that too. So it's like really cool, but I love AI.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Hmm.
Me too. Me too. Cool beans. Thanks for sharing.
Hmm.
Jen, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, first off, I figured out I got to be on Zoom for my pedal to work to mute and unmute.
Oh yeah, you got that pedal thing working, huh?
Yeah, but I got to be on the Zoom to make it work.
Oh,
ChatGPT, I went ahead after you said you paid $20. I went and did that too, and I love the fact that I have projects set up for the your hormone health hero, and then I got a
right.
project for something else with digital marketing. I got other projects and then different chats within, and I love that. Like, I use ChatGPT to write my articles that I'm posting on LinkedIn. So I like how I can state a rule that I want. I want you to write my article, then give me the hashtags and give me because one of the platforms I post to now with that program I got, you get some hidden tags. Give me the hidden tags, and then give me the image suggestions, and then I can say now share that with the other chats in this project, and it will share the new rules with the other projects or with the other chats in the same project. So I don't have to go tell each chat to do that. It won't cross contaminate different projects, but everything within one project, it'll follow those rules. So I like that. It forgets some of the rules sometimes, and I got to remind it, hey, you forgot this.
Right.
But have you? I use Gamma. I rewrote my downloadable ebook in Gamma. I gave it parameters I wanted, and Gamma wrote it. And the free version gave me an 8-page ebook. I had to edit a few things. Get 8-page ebook, and that's the free version. I'm not even paying for Gamma. It just has made by Gamma in the bottom right corner of each page. And I don't care about that. So, on a lot of these other free sites, like let's say Robert, you wanted to take this video and get reels from it. You can use Opus Clips.
Right.
Well, Opus Clips allows you only, it's a 60 minutes in the free version before you got to pay.
Right.
But
I was a member of that.
how many email accounts do you have?
Sure.
I've used Opus Clips for 90 minutes last month because I had the Power Hour, or not Power Hour, one of the other emails, and then also my own. So I was able to use the free version for that for different videos. So you can, because a lot of them are credit based, you can use different emails to take advantage of that. And then I have not used it yet, but there's also InVideo out there. A few other people that I network with are really loving it. And you just go in and put in a few parameters, and it basically makes a video for you. So I got to try that out and see how that works out too. But I saw someone else post this on Facebook last year. Anytime I hear people that are looking for a job or talk about resume or talk about places not hiring, I let them know that a lot of places now use AI to screen out resumes.
Right.
So you combat that by using ChatGPT, upload your resume, upload the job description, all the job details of the job you're trying to apply for, and tell ChatGPT, hey, help me rewrite my resume to fit this job.
There you go.
Now it'll use keywords and then tell it why. So the AI doesn't disqualify my resume. It will write it with keywords, just make sure it tells the truth and write keywords that the other AI will recognize for that job and maybe get your resume to an actual human in the first place. So, and
Right.
I've shared that a few places, and I don't know if anybody's had the results of it, but people really like that information and doing that. So, AI, we were talking about AI and Microsoft advertising back in 2019 before anybody even knew about it. That was Microsoft's, big thing. And now Microsoft and Google ads and Facebook kind of does the same thing, but Microsoft Google ads, you go in and give it parameters and images, and it just builds ads for you for the search engine, and so that's pretty amazing. But anybody out there that is afraid of AI is not the Antichrist, no matter what people tell you. It's my daughter was afraid of AI, and now I hear that actually the other day are using Chat GPT to help you with your college work. She says, yes, they'll give me a math problem, and I don't understand it, and I don't go to it for the answer, but I'll put something in there and say, dumb this down for me. And it'll dumb it down for her, which I've done the same thing sometimes. I've dumb it down to where I understand what it's talking about. So, but yeah, I wrote 14 different did you knows, 7 for hormone health and 7 for power of the menopause using ChatGPT. And it gave me the the hashtags and the postings. And then I scheduled them on my other program. So
Love it.
you can't beat it.
No, man, and that's the beautiful part, right? If you just take it, figure out, see what it does and how it can simplify your life and use it towards your business, then now we're talking about that other element of freedom, which is time freedom, right? So you get everything done and then you go enjoy the rest of the day. We don't want you to be one of those network marketers that's learning how to do this and come spend 8 to 12 hours a day in front of your computer, have bad health, and not have anything to show for it. For me, like I'm talking like 3 5 hour a day, maybe 6 if that. But get done what you need to get done and then go on with your life and go and enjoy it. Go get outside, get some sunshine, hang out with the kids, the grandkids, do those things that you want to do. Right. That's the intention here with this group. That's what we're here for. Again, we do this every Monday, 12 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to join us live, join thelosttransition.com/live. We're gonna end this right now and go on with our week, but let's go out there and kick ass and take names. Appreciate you guys being here. Trust you guys got some value out of it. We'll see you next Monday. Toot toot. Love you. Bye bye. So I think I have to end this and
Yeah, you
then
got to stop the stream on YouTube also.
yeah, but I don't know. Let me